Hello, welcome again to FAIRtax Power Radio. I'm Bob Paxton.
And I'm Ron Malero.
And we are
the FAIRtax guys.
Coming to you from Big Daddy Studios in Gainesville. We are pre-recorded on the video version this week, but the comments as we are streaming on Facebook are live. And, of course, I'm at the doctor's office about now, so I can't be talking to you. So Ron and Randy will be answering your comments and questions as you put them into the comments. But we've got a really neat show today.
And there's one more place they can find the FAIRtax guys.
Which is?
We have our own website now.
We do?
FAIRtaxguys.com. FAIRtaxguys.com. Yep.
Yeah. Now, let's hope there's not a whole lot of confusion here. Our email address is thefairtaxguys@gmail.com, and we welcome your questions and comments there. But our brand new website, which was just built for us, we'll be adding stuff to it as go, doesn't have the on it. It's just fairtaxguys.com.
Right.
So confuseth thyself not when you're trying to figure out what's whether to use the or not. You use the on the email address, and you just use fairtaxguys.com for the web address.
No THE and no W's.
Yeah, no W's. That'll work.
Just fairtaxguys.com. And we'll explain more as we go along.
And of course,
we have a lot of stuff.
We still have our FAIRtax Guys Facebook page. You can leave us comments there. And we actually watched several other FAIRtax pages as well, including one, the Florida FAIRtax Educational Association that Ron and I both work with. They have a Facebook page. Yep. And we got some rather interesting comments on that Facebook page a few days ago that we kind of want to get into. And that's going to lead into we've got some videos we want to show you that are just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, we love them. They've been around for a while, but they're good. But yes, we get great feedback. I mean, we get people sending us mail to thefairtaxguys@gmail.com. In the last episode, we talked about that. But we also get a lot of feedback on Facebook. In fact, we get Facebook Messenger, we get text messages. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with, but as Bob says, on Facebook, the Florida FAIRtax Facebook page, Randy put this meme up there several days ago about the concentration of IRS audits.
Yeah, it was an interesting little map showing where you're most likely to be audited. And guess where one of the least likely places is? Washington, D.C.
Yeah, funny thing about that, huh? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, somebody, by the name of Michael Williamson, and we appreciate your comments. All right, it's simple. Most Americans hate the IRS. That's true. With real money, you can build an army. It's no different than selling a good product. This can be done. Okay?
Yeah, that was one of his second comments. His first one says, you're wasting time and money.
Well, that's right.
Get big money behind you and take it to the people. Build your army. It's just educational. Wonderful idea.
Yes, it is.
Now we got to figure out how to execute on it.
Yeah.
If you could get big money just by simply saying, I want some big money here, we would do that. But, of course, one of the things that we don't like to do here on FAIRtax Power Radio a lot is solicit a lot for donations. I have worked for quite a while in Christian radio, and I heard time and time and time again, these radio preachers, all they care about is separating you from as much money as they can. So we try not to hit on that too awfully hard, but we are all volunteers here. And if we had the big money that Mr. Williamson is suggesting that we get, and I would love to have, no doubt about it, that we could show some video. We came across some videos on a place called FAIRtax Hub, and I must admit I don't know a tremendous amount about these guys. This is a YouTube channel that we've got these things off of. But if we had the big money, and again, if there's anybody out there that has some that wants to send us to us, we would love to have the financial wherewithal to put these videos or something like them
on TV.
On TV, I mean,
across the country.
On Mark Levin's show, on Sean Hannity's show, on the NFL playoffs, on the sports broadcast.
Yeah.
Even come on when they're watching NASCAR. That might be one commercial I wouldn't mute. But I watch NASCAR and I mute the commercials when they come on.
But to do this would require millions. Now, I will tell you that a few years ago, they had to upgrade, they had to redo the evasion study. They had to raise about $40,000 just to redo that study from 2012 to 2017. We're talking, to have a national advertising campaign, we're talking millions, tens of millions. And so far, we have not been successful in raising tens of millions. I have to admit that. But when the time is right, I think we can do it.
I think we can. And if we had the kind of big money that we would love to have behind us, we could show you some of these videos. Now, these are incredibly well acted.
Yep.
They're very well written. They're very well produced. I mean, this is top quality, professional grade stuff all the way.
Yeah, and they're very short, too. Each one is about a minute. So, Mr. Producer, you want to...
Go ahead and roll the first one if you would.
So everybody can see and hear it.
You know, it's probably changed since the last time I saw it, but the short answer would be, you want to take this one?
Oh, sure. Okay. Imagine bringing home everything you make. You don't get taxed for saving or accumulating wealth, and your boss doesn't get taxed more even if he pays you more.
Wow, see, that's amazing.
So the end result of all that is the cost of producing products and running a business goes down, so things cost less. And on top of all that, imagine every criminal, non-citizen, and under-the-table worker also paying taxes.
That's amazing.
That's the FAIRtax. We tax what you consume as you consume it, and that's it.
Isn't that great?
Sounded like the first part was cut. I didn't hear the question that the guy was responding to.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of seconds were cut off there.
We'll
But
check that.
the scenario is you've got a FAIRtax guy and you got an income tax guy and you got the young lady who's asking questions.
So tell me how it works.
There we go.
You know, it's probably changed since the last time I saw it, but the short answer would be, you want to take this one?
Oh, sure. Okay. Imagine bringing home everything you make. You don't get taxed for saving or accumulating wealth, and your boss doesn't get taxed more even if he pays you more.
Wow, see, that's amazing.
So the end result of all that is the cost of producing products and running a business goes down. So
There we go.
Yeah.
So heard the question. Explain to me how your tax system works.
Yeah.
And the income tax guy, he didn't want to say nothing. He said, "Hey, you handle this question."
Where do you begin? If you had an income tax that was 76,000 pages altogether, where do you begin to explain it? I mean, you know, I wouldn't know how to begin. But the FAIRtax is very simple. And that guy did it in less than a minute. And so, like Bob said, these short videos are very professionally produced, but they're very provocative too. That is the essence of the FAIRtax and how it is superior to the income tax. The income tax guy was befuddled to even describe the income tax, whereas the FAIRtax guy just rattled it right off. Oh yeah, we have.
Those of you who are listening to the podcast and can't see the video, the famous 9x9 fully scrambled Rubik's cube.
Yep.
is the income tax.
Yep.
And the nice little.
And every time they come up with another change,
you just do
that.
They
just do that.
Turn the top part.
Yep.
The FAIRtax is our little 2x2 cube that a 6-year-old.
Very
can
simple.
solve.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
problem. But,
Yep. So
that's how that works. But that's it. The FAIRtax, again, folks, for those of you who may be new to it, replaces the income tax. There are some people who will tell you that the FAIRtax is a new tax that's going to be charged on top of everything that you're currently paying. No, it replaces the income tax system.
Right.
Totally replaces it. No more withholding from your paycheck. No more filling out tax returns. It's just so much better.
Yep.
It's embedded in the cost of everything you buy, but you will see it on the receipt. It's not. It works like the taxes on fuel. You know, it's not added on after the fact. A regular sales tax, you'll take a $100 item to the cash register. They'll charge you $107, $108, depending on what the state sales tax rate is. The FAIRtax is included in that $100, but your receipt will show that of that $100 you spent, 77 went to the store, 23 went to the federal government. So that's one of the things that the swamp creatures and the Congress folks are terrified of people actually seeing how much government is costing them.
yeah,
And
because they don't right now.
That is one of the reasons, no doubt, that they don't like the FAIRtax. But it is so simple that the guy who's playing the income tax there couldn't even begin to know where to start.
So
And had to punt real quickly. So that was really good.
okay.
Let's take a look at the next one.
Yep. Please, the next one.
So what do you need from me to get these taxes collected?
Glad you asked, because there is a fair amount of information you need to be aware of.
That's your tax plan?
Oh, no, this is just the revisions for this year's tax plan. What I need from you is you need to keep track of all of your income as well as any taxes that you've already paid. Also, any gifts that you received or gifts you've given to churches or charities or individuals throughout the entire year. Do you do any side jobs?
Every now and again.
Great, because there's some more information about that right here. Everything you need to know right here. So just simply compile that, send it in to us. Be careful, make sure there's no mistakes. If we do find mistakes, or maybe we can fine you or, throw you in jail. So you might want to be aware of that.
And what do you need from me?
As an individual, nothing. As a business owner, or if you're doing side jobs, I mean, yes, you would have to collect taxes on that, but, well, it's all right here.
Can I get a copy of that?
Oh,
I love these videos.
that one's priceless. You love the look on the lady's face. Are you serious? When they bring out all that stuff.
Is that your tax plan? No, that's just this year's changes.
Yeah. And if you go to congress.gov, like we do here on FAIRtax Power Radio, put in the string Internal Revenue Code, search on that one, and you see how many proposals to change the tax code the Congress folks are doing. And as of right now, it's like 400. I closed the tab. It's well over 400.
Yeah, it's approaching 500.
Almost 500 changes to the tax code have been proposed in 43 days. As we're recording this, Congress has been in session 43 days.
Yeah.
So they're proposing well over 10 per day. Just about every one of them has a lobbyist behind it.
They have an insatiable appetite for changing and making the tax code more complicated almost on a daily basis.
And I love that video.
Yeah.
The FAIRtax guy hands her one page.
Yeah.
It says, here's all you need to know. Now, the FAIRtax bill is actually 133 pages, most of which are references to the tax code, the statutes that will be repealed. It does not take 133 pages to describe how the FAIRtax works. The FAIRtax is a sales tax. It is tacked on to the price of the things you buy, though it's actually included in the price rather than tacked on to the cash register. Let me make that clear. But it is something you pay anonymously when you purchase something. So how much tax you pay depends on how much you buy. When you pay your taxes depends on when you decide to make purchases. And one thing we always like to mention is that used goods under the FAIRtax are not taxed. So if you would like to avoid paying tax entirely when you buy something at the thrift store instead of at Walmart.
Yeah, with the FAIRtax, you are in control of how much tax you pay. All right. Yes, you do have to pay it because when you go to the store and you buy something, it'll be included in the price of the item. But you decide, do you want to buy some really expensive jeans or just the Levi's off the rack or something? Do you want to buy a Cadillac or do you want to buy a Chevy or a compact car? You want to buy a big car or a small car? Or do you want to buy a used car and a pre-owned home, used home? Right? Those are the big two ticket items. So when it's time for your family to buy a house, you don't have to buy a new house. In fact, close to 90% of the home sales in this country are for used homes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you buy a used home, a pre-owned home, there's no FAIRtax on that. Same with a used car. So a family can really control their taxes by being careful about their expenditures. And then as time goes on and the jobs get better and they have more income or they retire like us and the kids are gone and you've got a granddaughter who is actually engaged, when you reach that stage, and then you can be, maybe spend a little bit more on yourself,
yes.
Whereas before you spent them on your kids. But you are in control with the FAIRtax. Not so with the income tax. The IRS is in control. And if they come after you with some kind of an audit, you are guilty. You have to prove yourself innocent.
Yes.
That goes away with the FAIRtax.
Yes, but I want a Lambo and a Learjet, but I guess I'll just have to buy used ones.
Yeah.
But that last video is just elegant in illustrating the simplicity of the FAIRtax versus the income tax.
Yep.
You do not need reams and reams and reams. 76,000 pages is how big the current income tax is, and they are adding to it on almost an hourly basis.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, it's really that bad. It's really that bad. They're approaching, as this program airs, it's got to be close to 500 proposals to change the tax code. And they've only been in session, let's see, last week it was 43, so it'll be like 47 or something. Because they only work 4 days a week. Fortunately, I mean, that's a good thing that they're only there 4 days a week. I think they ought to cut it down to 3.
Might are.
Yeah. So anyways, unless they want to pass the fair tax, and then they need to stay in there until it's done.
Okay, well, time's getting away. Let's go to video number 3. Roll it.
Yep.
So, how much will I bring home?
Go ahead.
How much do you make? We'll just say 40,000. Okay, keep it simple. Throw out the deductions, all that stuff. So you got your 40K, right? Now the first 8,000 is going to be taxed at 10%. The 8 to 33,000 is going to be taxed at 15%, and the 33 to 40, of course, is 25%. So that brings your total to $6,345.
Okay, so the average is what?
16%. Okay, and on top of that, you got Medicare, which is 1.5%, and then of course your Social Security, which is 6.2%. So actually, your new total is $9,405.
Which is 20.
23.65%. You're getting it. You're getting it. Don't even get me started on what the boss has to pay. He's got to pay a portion of your taxes as well, so you don't have to.
Right. And you?
Oh, you'd bring home every penny.
I love it.
Bam! Bring home every penny.
How much do I bring home with the fair tax? All of it. Well, all of it, let me qualify that a little bit. All of it minus any voluntary deductions, if you've got deductions for insurance, or if you've got
Yeah.
deductions that go to your credit union, or if you live in a state that has a state income tax and that state keeps their income tax, then there will be those deductions. There will be no federal deductions. No federal withholding, no FICA withholding, no Medicare taxes either. So all of the federal withholding goes away from your paycheck under the fair tax. So even if some of those other deductions stay, you're going to be bringing home a lot more under the fair, and you'll be getting a tax refund every month.
That's right. And you get the prebate on top of that.
Every month, the prebate is a refund back to you. You do not owe a dime of fair tax until your spending rises above the poverty level. Now, of course, it's impossible to keep track of how much everybody spends, and only start charging the tax when your spending exceeds the limit. They just charge the tax from $1 and give you back what is collected from that you don't owe.
And it's strictly, the prebate is based on the size of your family. That's all you have to report. These are the members of my family, these are the Social Security numbers, and based on that, they know what your prebate is. All right, and we've talked about this in detail in previous shows, okay? So the prebate, as Bob said, make sure that you don't get taxed below the poverty level. So those people that are just getting by, that are earning just enough to put food on the table and clothes on your back and a roof over your head, all right, those people are protected from excessive taxation. And no, the prebate is not an entitlement. You have to think of this concept. With a sales tax, no one should have to pay taxes on what it costs to stay alive, all right? You shouldn't have to pay taxes on the costs of the basic necessities for your family, and that's what the prebate does. It negates negates the taxes that you will pay on the basic necessities. So for those people who are just getting by, it's a godsend for them. And then when their income increases, they get a raise at work or something, well, then they can decide, are we going to spend that extra money, or are we going to put it in the savings account so we can buy a house or something? Mm-hmm. Their decision, not the government.
You love all the mathematical gymnastics that the guy had to go through to explain how the income tax works. And the fair tax, just bring home everything you make.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yep. So these videos, you can see why we enjoy them so much. And they've been around for 10 years.
Again, they're very well done. I hope we have permission to use them, so we'll find
out.
I'm
quite sure, because they're there on YouTube for anybody to use. So
okay, we've seen 3. Let's roll number 4.
Yeah, let's go.
So tell me, how could I pay less taxes?
Less.
Yeah, I'm trying to get ahead, so how can I pay less?
Well, I suppose you could pay less taxes by earning less money, or you could give to charity.
How is that going to help?
Actually, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but if you know the right people, okay, or if you have a really good lawyer, you can usually get around the big ones.
If I may, under the fair tax, to pay less taxes, you would simply consume less. You would control how much you pay and when you pay your taxes simply by choosing what you purchase and when you purchase something.
So I could stay focused and get ahead.
Exactly.
Yes. And he should have mentioned the buy used. That's one thing you
Yeah,
can do with
yeah.
it. But that
Well, I
that
think
is
they wanted
so
to keep it
incredibly
simple.
cool.
Yeah.
That,
But that income tax guy, he's having such a hard time trying to explain this. And he had a terrible time with the concept of pay less.
yeah, what do you mean pay?
What?
Well, I'm trying to
Hold
get
on.
ahead. How can I pay less? Well, make less. How does that help you get ahead? Deer in the headlights, you know. Oh, that is so funny.
And that when you truly talk about the fair tax with the income tax on an even level, when you're really talking about apples to apples, that's what happens. The fair tax is so superior to the income tax in so many ways that when you try to explain it, I mean, there are a few people around the country that try to demagogue the fair tax, but they have to change it. They have to make claims that are not true, or they have to lie about it. But when you compare the income tax to the fair tax on a level playing field, there's no contest. Just like in that video, there was no contest.
Yeah, that reminds me of something else that Steve Hayes wrote in his chairman's report just this past week. People that are criticizing the fair tax aren't criticizing it as a way to fund the government. They're criticizing it because it doesn't carry out other objectives that they're trying to get a hold of.
Yeah, exactly, because they've been so brainwashed by the income tax, they think that's the only way you can get this benefit or that benefit by putting it into the tax code someplace. Let's unleash the American economy by getting the income tax off of their back and putting the IRS out of business, and let businesses and people take care of their own business and their own personal finances. Right?
Oh, yeah, I would love to hang a going out of business sign on the Internal Revenue Service.
Yeah, it will happen one day. And
Okay, we got one more. Roll it.
Yeah.
So what would you do for her?
We've got several programs that will help her. We just need to find out how much she makes. But the good news is, the less she does, the more we can help.
Yeah.
If I may, with the fair tax, we wouldn't even tax her income. So the more she makes, the more she has.
But still, a consumption tax could eat up a lot of her income.
Which is why at the beginning of every month, we're actually going to give back all that she pays in taxes on basic necessities.
You're going to give her back her taxes?
Every month. On everything taxed on basic necessities. But we're also going to give it back to you and to every American citizen.
Why?
Well, we believe taxes should be fair.
Wow.
There you go.
Don't you love the look on the income tax guy's face? He said, we're going to give you back your taxes.
Yeah.
What?
And she could pay less by earning less. Yes, but she's got a family to support. How is earning less a good thing for that family? But unfortunately, that is the reality in which we live right now with the income tax. It's just crazy.
So again, let's direct you to the FAIRtax Hub, because that's where these things came from.
Yeah,
And
on YouTube.
Those on YouTube, FAIRtax Hub channel on there, and you know that they're over 10 years old, which means if we had the big money, if anybody's got several $1 million they want to contribute to the cause, that we could put spots like that and others put those spots probably and others like them, in the NASCAR races, in the basketball games, on the evening news, in Sean Hannity's show.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to see that on Rachel Maddow's show?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't
That
that
would
be
be great.
cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to carry the message to the folks that need to be convinced that it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I don't know of anybody, regardless of your political ideology, that would not like to have more money in their paycheck. How would you like to bring home your full gross amount instead of your little net amount after Uncle Sam takes a big chunk of it before you get it? Well, that's what the fair tax does. It gets rid of the income tax, means it gets rid of withholding, and you bring home a bigger paycheck. And it doesn't cost your boss anymore. He doesn't have to, you don't have to get a raise. You just get to keep all of what you earn.
Yeah. So
What a novel idea.
Those videos are so good, and they're short. They're right around a minute. Okay. Please go on to YouTube and go to FAIRtax Hub, or FAIRtax Hub is their channel, okay? And then share those videos with other people. You can share them on Facebook. You can copy the link and put it in emails and send them to people and so forth. these really drive the point home. They're short, they're sweet, they're somewhat humorous, and they really get the message across. So we encourage you. All
Yeah,
right?
those are definitely professional grade all the way through.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. And to put those on TV across the country,
We need the millions of dollars that
Yeah.
Mr. Williamson says we need to get. So
Yeah, that's right.
He's right. We need it.
yeah,
And,
we can't disagree with them. We just are wondering that,
It's not quite as easy. Like you can't just do it just because go do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How?
So, anyways, but we appreciate the comments from everybody. We really enjoy it. I forgot what I was going to say here.
Well, I'll
Another
tell
senior
everybody
moment.
to give us a comment at thefairtaxguys@gmail.com, or you can watch our new website, fairtaxguys.com.
Yeah.
No the and no www on the website, at thefairtaxguys@gmail.com. Of course, the Fair Tax Guys, we have our own Facebook page. So there are a lot of different places on Facebook which you can learn about the Fair Tax. Fairtax.org is kind of the mothership of where a lot of the information resides. You can get Steve's chairman's reports. We've been referring to those here on Fair Tax Power Radio for the past little while. You can read those in their entirety. You can sign up to get the chairman's report emailed directly to you every Friday, or in cases sometimes it doesn't get here till Saturday, but that's kind of when it goes out at the end of the week.
Hopefully they'll be rectifying that sometime later this year. I want to warn you about our new website that when you click the link to go to our videos, the first bunch of videos on there are from Spreaker. Now, we've told you before that the podcast for this show is done through Spreaker, Spreaker.com. It's like speaker with an R. Spreaker.com. And I advise anybody, if you're thinking of doing a podcast, go to Spreaker. You can't go wrong. These people, they automate and streamline the process for you. You save a lot of headaches, and it's really inexpensive.
If he can figure it out, anybody can, right?
Yeah, exactly. But Spreaker will also not only put it on their own website, but they'll send it to iTunes, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. And what they do is they take the podcast, the audio stream, and they stick the picture on it, and they make a very simple YouTube. So it's the audio stream with the picture, and that's all you see for the video is the picture for the whole 30 minutes. So it's kind of, that is what is on the Fair Tax Guys YouTube channel right now. But with this new website of ours, we're going to put this video and every video that we do every week.
The old ones are the audio only podcasts. We'll
Right.
try to put the videos up kind of starting.
So we're going to have, starting hopefully last week, we're going to have real videos on our YouTube channel of the Fair Tax Guys. So you'll be able to see these shows. So lots of ways to learn about the Fair Tax and to view and listen to the Fair Tax Guys podcasts, videos. And the nice thing about our website, you don't have to join anything. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You just go to fairtaxguys.com and there it is.
All right. Well, you got about a minute left to do your logo store stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. FairtaxLogoStore.org. FairtaxLogoStore.org. We'll start off with these information cards, palm cards, which we're in the process of revising. But anyways, these are good. You can buy a pack of like 100 of these and pass them out to people. The prebate card, they have basic information about the fair tax on one side and the prebate schedule on the other side. People like these things because they get a chance to say, I got a family of 4, holy cow. Or 2 adults, retired couples like Bob and I, 2 adults, $479. That's not bad, all right? Because as the video said, we're going to reimburse you for the taxes you pay on the basic necessities. There are all kinds of information. That's where we get these shirts, the hats, and so forth, umbrellas, tote bags, jackets, these pins. You can wear these pins around, and show your support. You can strap these to your purse. They have a new little item that has information on the fair tax, and I want to make sure I don't open that upside down. And it's got little screwdriver bits in there, and you put it in the end, you got a very simple screwdriver. Just all kinds of little stuff. Okay. Remember this thing? Yeah, which is not working. Oh, the batteries finally died in this bugger. Okay, well, anyways, it used to flash. And the scrolling banners, which is Bob and my favorite item that's in the Fair Tax logo store.
Yeah,
all right. Show your support for the FAIRtax. Wear your support for the FAIRtax.
And if you've got the multiplied millions of dollars that you would like to donate to the cause so we can get those videos all over television, all over the world, write us at thefairtaxguys@gmail.com. We will put you in touch with the powers that you need to get a hold of to make that happen.
Yeah.
And with that, that's going to wrap up this edition of FAIRtax Power Radio. I'm Bob Paxson.
And I'm Ron Malero.
The FAIRtax Guys reminding you that the FAIRtax is America's big solution, and once you understand it,
You'll demand it.
Oh, these income tax forms are way too complicated. There's got to be a better way. Who are you?
we're the FAIRtax Guys.
We've got a big solution for you.
What's that?
It's the FAIRtax. Completely eliminates the federal income tax system as we know it. No more withholding, no more payroll taxes, no more tax returns ever, no more IRS. All gone. And I guarantee you, once you understand it,
You'll demand it.
Yeah.